Welcome back, Facebook friends. Yes, we're here at the Global Media Summit at the beautiful Gaylord Hotel. And I have run into another brand new friend. And you traveled here from Washington State, is that right?
Washington State.
Washington State. And so Mary Davies is a teacher who teaches on a very interesting subject to me, because I'm one of those guys that grew up in a house full of women. I had no father figure in my life. And I have only now that I'm a grandfather of 6, learned what it means to have a parenting type relationship with my own children and grandchildren. And in all of that, I have never heard the phrase nor been taught the subject of manology. So what in the world is manology, and where'd you come up with that phrase?
That's a great question. What is manology? Manology is understanding the mind of a man and the unique language that men speak. It's actually quite simple.
Yeah, it sounds like more power. I'm telling you, Tim had it right.
He actually did. Men really do. They speak in grunts, they speak in small phrases, and it's us women that like to speak in paragraphs.
Yes. With one exception, and there may be other exceptions, but I know for a fact, I've heard this study, and I've heard that it's a myth as well, but that women generally use somewhere around 30 to 40,000 words a day, and men use about 10,000.
Right.
My wife and I are exactly the opposite.
Oh.
So I think since January, I've done a daily television episode every morning at 6:20, and they're usually between 15 and 30 minutes long. So at an average of 150 words a minute, I've done about 50,000 words since January. And I've written more than 30,000 words since January. And I still come home at night and try to talk to her while she's sleeping in a pillow, and we talk in the shower. And so most of the time she's like, yep, fine, good, that's great. And I'm like, you got the man genes in this family, I'm sorry. When it comes to communication, she got the man genes. All right, so for a young girl who's thinking about getting married, or maybe someone they've gone through the full cycle, and I was married and it didn't work out, and I don't like men and I hate them and I want to beat them all in the face with a skillet, how does manology help prepare for marriage or prepare for a better and deeper relationship?
That's a great question. Manology helps because when you understand the mind of a man and you understand how his mind works and how he communicates and how he draws close, when you understand manology, you can use those tools. It's like having your own personal man toolkit, and you can use those tools to draw him out of any situation and bring him back into that relationship with you. Have him asking you for more time to spend with you, watch Hallmark movies with you, go do whatever hobby it is you want with you. He's going to be begging you to do those things. If he doesn't, then you know some little flags have gone up, and that might not be the right relationship for you.
Hey, you talk about tools, and I remember hearing Dr. Henry Cloud say not too long ago, when the only tool you have in your kit is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
You're so correct. I love Dr. Cloud. Love Dr. Cloud.
Now, have you seen the video about the girl who has the nail in her forehead?
Yes.
And she's trying to pull the sweater over, and she has all the arguments. Okay, so men generally say, how do I solve this problem? Because whatever your problem is, whatever your pain is, I want to fix it and move on.
Right. What if we had the tools to offer the man a different tool? We actually had a set of tools that we could offer to him so that he would stop using that analogy and try to solve our problem. What if we had the way to help him solve our problem a different way?
What would that look like?
That would look like, instead of telling him what to do.
Let's role play for a second.
Absolutely.
So if you're the woman on the couch with the nail in her forehead,
right,
and I'm the husband who's going, but there's your problem. I can see your problem.
Right.
You can't see your problem.
Right.
What's the ideal way? So if you were in her position and you wanted to coach me to be a better husband, a better man, a better fiance, whatever, in the moment when you have the nail in your head, what's the best way for me to respond?
The best way for me as a woman to respond to that is to tell you how I'm actually feeling. Okay? When I tap into my own feelings, you're going to join me there, and you're going to focus differently.
Isn't that a foreign language for men, feelings?
It isn't. Actually, it isn't. Men love feelings. What they don't like is the overreaction from the feelings. But they love the direct feeling. For example, with that nail in my head, if I tell you I have a headache and I tell you that it hurts really bad, and you come to me and talk, you're going to engage with me a different way when I tell you that. But if I just sit there and rant and rave and cry about it and complain about it and tell you all these things and never connect with my own feelings, all you're going to do is try to solve my problem. But the minute I engage with my own feelings and say, this really hurts and I need you to help me.
Is it necessary for the woman to say, this really hurts because I had a nail in my head? I understand that I have a problem, and I'm not asking you to solve it. I'm asking you to understand that I know that I have a problem, and I'm telling you how it feels so you can walk with me through it.
Exactly. And what the woman can do further is she can actually say, and I need you to help me get rid of the pain.
By doing...
And then let him figure that out. And then the woman, some of the manology is actually teaching the woman to zip her mouth and allow the man to actually be a man and do it his way as well.
And I think part of that sometimes too results in the reality that it's really easy to cross over from expressing a need into nagging.
Right.
It's also really hard, and as parents we learn this, especially with teenagers, that sometimes the best thing you can do is wait for the conclusion to come to them. So if you're trying to coach a teenager, if you're trying to get them to do something, if you're giving them the advice and then telling them, okay, you got to do this, do it now. How come you're not done yet? Why isn't it done yet? And sometimes that relationship in the man-wife relationship happens as well.
Exactly.
And she's like, I needed you to do this. Why didn't you do that yet? How come you're
Right.
not done with that yet?
Oh.
Why am I still waiting for you to do this? And he's like, you haven't given me a second to figure out how to do it yet.
A man hates that. One of the most things that he hates is being told what to do and then being nagged about how to do it, when to do it, and everything. But I
Yes.
want to give you an example. If you want your man to take the garbage out, rather than say, honey, please take the garbage out, or nagging or blaming, or you never take the garbage out, try this. Instead of telling him what to do, simply engage with your own feelings and say, you know what, honey, I could really use some help. And then stop and zip it. Your man is now going to ask you what you need help with. Now, here you are, a woman having a man ask you for your needs to be met. It doesn't get any better than that as a woman.
And I think every man, even if he's been beaten into a corner, so to speak, by
Right.
the nagging and
Right.
the demanding, every man wants to be a hero.
Absolutely.
Every man wants to step up and be a champion. Every
Yes.
man wants to bail someone out. And that's why we stop on the side of the road, change tires for other people.
Exactly.
And so that desire is in us, and when it's provoked.
Exactly.
My wife became my champion when she said, I've forgiven you for everything that you've done, and I need you to see you the way I do. Changing that perspective, when she said, I'm standing behind you because I want to see you successful. I'm not fighting against you, I'm fighting with you.
Right.
That changed everything in our relationship after 10 years of marriage. This year will be 23, and it's because we learned to fight back to back, not face to face.
Congratulations on that. That is quite an accomplishment. One of the best examples that I give women is a classic thing that us women do. Okay, we put on a pair of jeans, and what the husband doesn't know, or your boyfriend doesn't know, is that yesterday at the party you had a little too many cupcakes, and now you're feeling a little self-conscious about your waistline. And so what we do is we put on the jeans, and then we go prance around in front of our man, and we go, honey, do these jeans make my butt look big? Right? Right?
Yeah.
Men hate that. They hate that. What we've just done as a woman is we've put him in a corner, and now he can't win. And men want to win. They want to win. They want to win your love. They want to be your hero. They want to solve your problems. And those are good things. Okay? So we don't want to ask questions like that put him in a corner and give him no chance at all but to lie to us or
and let me go
anything.
one step further than that too, because there's an underlying problem in that, because
Exactly.
it's like walking up and handing someone a hand grenade
Right.
and
Right.
going, here, I've already pulled the pin, you hold on to that for a second. Because here's what we forget, and what men want to answer the question, men want to solve the problem, men want to deal with it right now, and
Right.
that's it.
Right.
They just want to deal with it. And that's okay, she's got a lapel mic, nobody heard you until now. The idea that she's already got a preconceived notion that she's probably even made an inner vow or a judgment that says, if he looks at me and says that I'm fat, then I'm going to be guilty for eating those cupcakes.
Right.
And it's going to damage my emotional value, and it's going to damage his view of me, and I already feel fat, and so I'm already dealing with all the emotions inside, and all he's got to do is answer, well, maybe they're the wrong size, or are you sure you grabbed your own jeans? And he thinks he's being funny, and all of this hand grenade of emotion is back there waiting to detonate.
Right. And he's not getting any attention, if you know what I mean, that night.
Or for a couple of weeks.
Right,
She's like, well, if
right.
my jeans look bad, then you can sleep on the couch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here's another option. Here's some manology options for you. Instead of asking your man if you look fat in those jeans or how you look in those jeans, let's just ditch that altogether. Tap into your inner emotions Again, tap into your feelings and try this. Say, you know what, honey? I'm feeling a little insecure in my jeans. I need you to remind me how sexy I look to you. And then zip it. He can win. He's now going to tell you all these wonderful things about you and make you feel good. Because, come on, if your butt looks big, you know it. You got a mirror, right? Right?
And the
But when you
reality-
do that, you allow him to step up and win.
And just be ready, because when he starts talking about that, then I'm just saying,
Yeah, things could lead
it's
to-
really hard
yeah.
when that guy walks through the restaurant with a dessert tray. I can tell you one thing, and I remember telling this to a guy. In fact, in our conversation, if he's watching, he'll remember this conversation, but I don't think I'll have a problem with me sharing it because it's such a valuable lesson. But I remember him saying that after some of the tragic relationship he'd had in his life, that he came right out and said, listen, I was okay before I met you, and I'll be okay when you're gone. And I said, do you understand what that tells her, though? Because even the old song says, I want to be wanted, I need to be needed, and I love to be loved. And we all have that place in our life where we want someone else to go, I crave you.
Right.
And I said, so let me ask this question. Does she ever say things like, do you still find me attractive? Do you want to see me naked? Any of those kind of things? And he said, well, yeah, she does. I said, do you? And he said, I do, but she just won't do it.
Right.
Because she feels like I'm judging her. I'm like, well, if she feels like you're looking at your relationship going, I could take it or leave it, then absolutely she feels like you're judging her. And that if she was gone, you wouldn't miss her. And that's a hard place to put her in. I said, here's one I want you to practice, because I've been doing this with my wife for almost 12 years now. When she walks in the room, and I tested this first. I did a little focus group with my wife. Hello, beautiful. Hello, sexy. Hello, hottie. Whatever it is. And so now it's hello, hottie. And so even to the extent it's become such a natural part of our conversation. I was in the grocery store around Thanksgiving. People all over the place. Of course, all the women shopping through the veggies and trying to get everything ready for Turkey Day. And we had gone different directions looking for something. She came up an aisle, and I was coming through the produce aisle, and I knew from where I was I could see her, but she couldn't see me. And I saw her stop at the end of the aisle and look around, and I went, hello, hottie. And about half the women in the store nearly dropped their groceries looking to see who I was talking to. And then, of course, she gets this beaming smile on her face and walks right to me, and I was like,
Awesome.
When? So
That's awesome.
she knows that I feel that way, and she gets to hear me say that on a regular basis. Now, if someone was wanting to learn Manology, what's the best way to connect with you?
The best way is on Facebook at Manology. I have a book called The Ultimate Guide to Dating. It's on the shelves now. You can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or directly through manologyworks.com. I have another book coming out that's called Manology, which is designed more for somebody already in a relationship. So if you're married or looking to get married or dating somebody more seriously, it tells you all the do's and don'ts. It tells you how to engage with your true feelings so that you can communicate them in a way that your man can respond in a loving, healthy way.
Absolutely. All right, so I want you to go down there. Now, when we're done with this Facebook post, you can look down in the comments, and she will have tagged from her own page all of the websites, Facebook pages, anywhere you can do the transaction. Grab a copy of the book, sign up for the workshops. Make sure you get on her mailing list so that she can send you any information for new material that's coming out. I am J. Lauren Norris, and you've been watching Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. 1 second.